everyone, Tina here. I retired at 55 years old, and man, that sentence sounds really strange coming out of my mouth. And just like Tyke gets asked about Social Security, taking his Social Security early, I get this question all the time. Do I regret retiring early? Do I miss work? Do I miss a routine? Do I wish I had waited? Today I want to answer that honestly from my perspective, not as a plan, not as advice, just as a real person who stepped away earlier than most people do. And I know there's some people out there that have retired earlier than 55, and to that I say, yay, good for you. But most of us wait until we're 65 or older. So when I retired at 55, that is a different feel from what most people do. That is early. So when we talk about why, I just wanted to start by saying that it wasn't an easy decision for me. Most of my life, my career, it wasn't just a job, it was part of my identity. I really liked being a nurse, and I really liked working for the company that I worked for. I was used to feeling needed, being needed, having a schedule, having responsibility, and being the reliable one, the one that people could count on to get the job done. So when the idea of retiring at 55 came up, my first reaction was a little mixed. It wasn't complete excitement. Some of it was a little bit fearful, fear of losing purpose, fear of being judged, fear of stepping away too soon, and honestly, fear of who I would be without my job. So I won't pretend that there weren't moments of doubt, especially early on. There were mornings where I woke up and thought, okay, now what am I supposed to be doing? There weren't any meetings. There wasn't a shift at 8 o'clock punch-in time. There wasn't a clock telling me where I needed to be, a work schedule telling me what meetings were coming up today. And in the world that praises busyness, that silence can feel uncomfortable at first. There were moments where I wondered, am I wasting my skills? Am I doing enough? Should I have worked longer just to be safe? And those thoughts, you know, people love to give you their opinion, like we've said before, and we've had lots of opinions. People saying work is good. It's good to be good to have a work ethic, and work hard all of your life. And we weren't trying to be lazy. We were just trying to be what we wanted to be. Those thoughts didn't mean that I'd made a wrong decision. They meant that I was unlearning a whole lifetime of conditioning where people, like the people that told us, work is good, you have to work your entire life, you have to work until you're 65. These are all the things that we're conditioned to believe throughout our life. We watch our parents, our aunts and uncles, our siblings. You know, everyone gave us their opinion of why they thought what we were doing was wrong and maybe even reckless. So you have to get over that lifetime of conditioning and everyone telling you their opinions. And the one thing that surprised me the most after retiring, it wasn't the boredom, it was how quickly my body and my mind calmed down. I didn't realize how much stress I was carrying until it wasn't there anymore. So things like I slept better, I felt less rushed, I stopped living in constant anticipation of the next obligation, the next big thing, the next, agenda or goal or achievement that had to be done. And something unexpected happened. I started feeling and being more present. I was more present with Tyke. I was more present in conversations. I've become more present in everyday moments that used to feel like background noise. And that's when I realized something very, very important. I didn't lose purpose when I retired. I made room for it to change. So now I want to be very honest. Retiring at 55 came with some trade-offs. I walked away from things like a steady paycheck, a familiar routine, a clear professional identity, and yes, there are moments when I think I could still be doing that. But then I ask myself a better question. If I were still doing that, what would be the cost? Would there be more stress, more exhaustion, less time for Tyke and I to be together, less flexibility? So for me, the trade-off wasn't about money versus no money. It was about energy, health, and time. And those are all things that you can't get back. You can't get them back later. They don't come around again. There's nothing you can do to make those things come back to where you want them to be. So let me answer the question plainly. Do I regret retiring at 55? No, I don't. Not because every day is perfect, not because life suddenly became easy, but because I feel like I'm racing. I don't feel anymore like I'm racing against the clock. That's just not a thing anymore. I don't feel like I've postponed my life waiting for someday. I'm living the things I want to do now. I feel like I can choose whatever I want to do right now. And that choice brought a kind of peace that I didn't fully understand before I retired. So if I could talk to my former self, who was afraid to retire, I would say this: you are not your job. Your value doesn't disappear when your title does. Your worth isn't measured by how busy you are. And the rest is not a reward, it is a necessity. I'd tell her that it's okay to choose a quieter life. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Just because everyone thinks you have to be busy, all those busy moms out there that think their kids have to be in 15 different activities and they have to be running around to all the events and being the carpool mom, doesn't mean that that's what you have to do. If you want your life to be quieter, you can choose that. So retiring at 55 wasn't about escaping work. Not like some people commented. It wasn't about trying to get out of doing a job. It was about choosing a life that felt sustainable, that felt balanced, and it felt meaningful. And just like Tyke shared his experience with Social Security, this is just my side of the story. In the next video, we will talk about what maybe could make us change course and the backup plans that we have in place if life throws us a curveball. And we all know life likes to do that, doesn't it? So we really appreciate you being here. If you've ever quietly wondered if it's okay to step away sooner than everyone expects, sooner than the 65-year-old time frame that we're all programmed to, I hope you can feel a little bit less alone in your decision. Thank you for watching.